If the recording now playing on the jazz program is really Louis Armstrong recorded in concert in 89, as the announcer said, the Louis Armstrong was playing some of the best jazz of his career after his death. That means the Louis Armstrong must have died before 89. Since the trumpeter was definitely Louis Armstrong, somehow the announcer must have gotten the date of the recording wrong. So, I mean, in the announcement, the Louis Armstrong part must be correct because definitely it was he who was playing the music. The date must be wrong. The pattern of reasoning in the argument above is most similar to which one of the following arguments? So, what is happening in the argument is the date is wrong. Okay, so either the act happened later or the person died early or whatever. Okay, so the date part must be wrong. The museum is reported as having acquired a painting by Malvina Hoffman, an artist who died in 66. But Hoffman was a sculptor, not a painter. We're not talking about what kind of artist a person was. No. The painting titled La Toile is Bert's Mossoet La Toile only if a painting can be in two museums at the same time. Since nothing can be in two places at once, the painting must somehow have been mistitled. So we are talking about a painting being in two places at the same time. We are not talking about the date mismatch. No. Only if a 20th century Mexican artist painted in Japan during the 17th century can this work both be by Frida Kahlo as labeled and the 17th century Japanese landscape as it appears to be. Since it is what it appears to be, the label is wrong. So what it says is the painting or the painting is of 17th century Japan. Okay, but a Mexican artist must have made that kind of painted or must have made a painting in Japan during 20th century only. So we are talking about date mismatch here, 20th century versus 17th century Japan. So let's keep this option. This is similar to this. Let's see if we get any other option which is more similar. Unless Katz Kalowitz was both a sculptor and a printmaker, the volunteer museum guide is wrong in his attribution of this sculpture. Since what Kalowitz is known for is her prints, the guide must be wrong. Again, this talks about whether it's a sculptor or a printmaker. We're not talking about that. If this painting is a portrait done in acrylic, it cannot be by Elizabeth Vigée Lebrun, since acrylic paint was developed only after her death. Thus, since it is definitely a portrait, the paint must not be acrylic. Now, if we compare these two options, this is about whether the painting is of 17th century or 20th century. This is about whether the paint is acrylic or not. So C option wins. C option matches the pattern of reasoning here better.